ever-changing landscape of water and mist. The water that flows over it is fossil water from the end of the last great ice age. Over its 10,000-year life, it has eroded, retreating almost 7 miles to where we experience its wonder today. It is the greatest waterfall in the Northern Hemisphere and a source of life and myth. In another 10,000 years, it will be gone, lost to future generations. No one knows when humans first came to Niagara, but it is believed that they arrived almost 12,000 years ago, as the glaciers of the last ice age receded, leaving enough water in their wake to create the Great Lakes. By 3,000 years ago, it was the Iroquois who had settled here. They were also known as the Haudenosaunee, or people of the Longhouse. Over time, they formed a peaceful coalition of 5 tribes. To the ancient people of Niagara, the greatest of the spirits were the thunder beings who lived under the falls. The name Niagara is said to originate from the native word Angiaris. It is from the oral traditions of these people that the story of Lualaba, the Maiden of the Mist, comes down to us through time. As a young woman, Lualaba left her village on the river. Some say that she lost her husband and thus her hope of a happy life. Some say that her father promised her as a wife to the king of the Angiaris nation. It was a great honor, but Lualaba could not love him, for she was in love with another. As she did not wish to bring shame to her family and dishonor to the wise old elder, she was forced to leave her village. Another legend tells of a great snake that lived beneath the river and came to the village to poison the water so he could eat the dead. It was a heroic Lualaba who volunteered to offer herself to the thunder gods in hopes they would help her people. It is said that it was He-No, greatest of all the thunder beings, who caught her and then killed the snake with a thunderbolt. Other versions of the story say the spirit of Lualaba returned to tell her people of the snake so they could destroy it. As it floated downstream, its head and tail caught on opposite sides of the river, creating the semicircle of the falls. Whatever the truth of the legend, there are those who say you can see her still in the rainbow of the mist beneath the falls. It wasn't until the late 17th century that the Europeans came to Niagara. Among them, French explorer Robert Cavelier, better known as La Salle, who would later explore the Mississippi River and Gulf of Mexico. La Salle was charged with developing the 2 crew members traveling with Captain Robinson were almost immediately thrown to the deck, hanging on for their lives. Although Captain Robinson had achieved the near impossible and was naturally exuberant immediately afterwards, the experience left him shaken.
No chance you got a bit of belly, eh?
Where in tarnation you come from?
Upriver
He never again piloted a steamboat, and died in seclusion just 2 years after his great achievement.
Bon voyage, Annie.
Thanks, Miller. Oh, no, horse. Don't forget, I'm gonna need lots of air.
Annie had her friends use a bicycle tire pump to compress enough air into the barrel for her to survive the 5-minute journey to the brink of the falls.
Now, don't forget the cork. The cork? Who's got the cork? I've got the cork.
I'm 43. Be quiet, Henry. It's okay. Henry's all right. No. Henry, no. Henry, come back here. Ouch! Stop that.
Bon voyage, Annie!
Bon voyage, Annie.
Miller?
The barrel was set loose from the American shore. The currents took the barrel toward Horseshoe Falls. The drop, 175 feet, with great piles of rocks below.
Hey, mister, look over there.
Hold the old bald-headed boys. Here she goes.
Come on. Upstairs. I got it.
You all right?
She is. She's alive.
Jim Honeycutt, their father's co-worker, piloted the boat. In the shallow waters, the outboard motor hit a rock and lost its...
Get your jackets on. Hurry up. Get back.
Roger was swept over the falls, protected with nothing more than his life preserver. Deanne was pulled from the river only 20 feet from the brink.
Captain! Get in the water! Come on! He's in the water!
Ironically, it was the Maid of the Mist that came to Roger's rescue.
There he is! Over there!
Roger unwittingly became the first person to survive being swept over the falls unprotected. The story was an international sensation.